Good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1342. Happy Monday. It's back to the grind. This was when I was in the office, when I was in the working world. This was like my least favorite day. Actually, no, because Black Friday was an easy day. Black Friday, because my last job, actually all of my jobs, I had to work Black Friday. But my last job, Black Friday was actually a fun day because it was usually you'd get out 1, 2 o'clock at the latest. So it's kind of like a half day. And it was a desk cleaning, especially I was on the sales side. None of my clients were working on Friday. So, and a lot of them were shut down the entire week. But then Monday, man, Monday was after a long weekend. It's like, oh, man. And it wasn't really like that in radio because I basically had to work there was when you work in small market radio, there's like no such thing as a holiday. Yeah, we'd get Thanksgiving off, we'd get Christmas off, but like everything else, you're in there. Black Friday. One year I had to go, of all places, Black Friday. I had to do a live remote. The only time I ever and I didn't even participate, it was just in a working fashion. Only time I was out early Friday morning. Now, this is back when you actually went out to the stores and camped out all night for Black Friday. We used to complain about that. It got kind of crazy probably up until 10 years, maybe 15 years ago. It was kind of the peak of Black Friday craziness. You don't hear about that anymore. We complain, the stores are open on Thanksgiving. Oh, I get it. But now it's kind of like, man, you remember Black Friday 2002? Whoa, what a crazy. You look back and there's going to be a time, it's probably still too recent for us now, but there's going to be a time in the next decade or two where we're going to look back and miss the insanity of Black Friday shopping in the morning. Now, I never participated, but it was kind of fun living vicariously through others. And I was out and about one morning. Black Friday, what year would it have been? I think 2000. I guess this was probably getting close to the end of the craziness of Black Friday. And it was still pretty crazy at this point in time. 2008, 2009, I think. And of all places, I'm at Black Friday. This is small market radio in the Midwest, folks. Black Friday at Farm King. Let me tell you, it wasn't as crazy as the mall or Best Buy or Walmart at Farm King. But there was, I think there was people waiting to get in. So Black Friday at Farm King. It was pretty uneventful. But we had and I talked about this the other day about the Thanksgiving tournaments in high school basketball, and always broadcast. We'd usually do, Wednesday, Tuesday, they'd probably start, sometimes Monday, depending on the field, how many teams were in it. But, I was always doing like Tuesday games, Wednesday games, Friday, and then sometimes Saturday, and usually Saturday, I would think. And then you get back to Monday and it's like, back to the grind. Hey, at least I don't have to work 16 hours. Well, now I sell baseball cards in my basement, so 16 hours is kind of like the average. But Black Friday weekend is over. Now we're full speed. Now we can actually celebrate the holiday season because many people don't want us to celebrate Christmas until after Thanksgiving. My dad was a grouchy Gus about that. It's not even Thanksgiving, and they're playing Christmas music and Christmas commercials are on. It's not even Thanksgiving. Well, if we celebrated Thanksgiving shopping like we did Christmas shopping, there would probably be some Thanksgiving commercials and music, but there just isn't. And ironically, I haven't watched any Christmas movies all weekend. I haven't watched much TV. I didn't even watch any football yesterday. Um, I don't. Did I watch any TV? My wife watched. I think my wife literally watched 24 hours of Yellowstone yesterday. In a, I don't know. Like I went up in the morning. She's got Yellowstone on. In the afternoon, Yellowstone. Last night, Yellowstone. Finally, I'm like, how many hours have you watched Yellowstone today? And she says, all of them. Okay. I don't like Yellowstone. Like Ted Lasso, don't like it. Yellowstone, don't like it. My wife is not like, you would think Yellowstone would be like any other show that's similar to Yellowstone. She's like, oh, I don't want to watch that. I'm not in. She likes Yellowstone for some reason. I just can't get into it. What else? So yeah, Sunday I spent a lot of time shipping. I've still, by the way, the Black Friday weekend sale continues in my eBay store through today. I'm like, I can't just shut it off before Cyber Monday. People are still online spending money. Of course, they're spending money every day, but the Black Friday weekend sale continues in my eBay store. This time, no minimum quantity. You don't have to buy 7 to save 50%. You don't have to buy 20 to save 50%. You can buy one card, and there's no minimums. It could be a 99-cent card, and you'll get it for 50 cents. You can only use the coupon code twice, so make sure you build a cart. I had somebody come in, they're like, hey, I wanted to buy more, but the coupon won't work anymore. I'm like, well, you have to buy, you can't buy 20 items and use the coupon code 20 times. Because then I'm losing even more money. So you can use it twice. You can build a cart of 50 cards and do it again. And the coupon code works 2 times. Black Friday weekend is the coupon code. It's good through, I think, 7 p.m. tonight. So here on Cyber Monday, 99centcards.com is the website. How many cards have I? Let's see how many sales we've made since the coupon went live. Let's see. We're gonna have to do a custom search. Let's see. I'm trying to think of what day that went live. 2024. Let's do through today, and let's generate that report. 1,040 sales. So I think the last 50% coupon I did 1,300 sales, but that was also in like 2 days. So hasn't been as successful as the previous coupon in October in terms of sales, but sales nonetheless. It doesn't matter. We're making sales. We're moving some old inventory, moving some new inventory. And this week, just because the Black Friday sale ends doesn't mean sales end, because we've got auctions rolling this week. I put some new auctions up. There's over 500 auctions running currently. I put over 100 vintage football cards at auction last night, 111 to be exact. So vintage football going all the way back into the 60s, mainly 60s and early 70s, football singles. So, and I was on the couch last night, Yellowstone in the background, and I was putting together some auctions to go live this week. So I'm going to have vintage baseball that is going to go live tonight. So vintage baseball going live tonight. Vintage football auctions went live last night. And then Tuesday night, our Tuesday night auctions, we're going to have a mishmash. We're going to have a little bit of vintage. We're going to have modern. We're going to have some oddball stuff tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and we stream live. We've got over 100 auctions ending tomorrow night. We'll count those down right here on this YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Central. Tuesday night auctions live. So check that out. So I've got my initial goal was to always have 500 auctions running at a time. I'm going to bump that up. I want to have 1,000 auctions running at any given time. So I've really got to hunker down. But what's important is not the number of auctions. It's quality, because I don't want to just I could put 1,000 auctions right now. I could just switch over 1,000 buy it now items to auction, but I'm going to be paying 15-cent insertion fees if they don't sell. So I don't want to just throw 1984 Fleer Commons at auction and they don't sell, which they probably wouldn't, and I'm getting hit 15 cents, 15 cents, 15 cents. So I've got to find auctions that will likely sell. Sometimes say it's a 89 Broder Ryan Sandberg on its own, maybe wouldn't sell. But if I do 100 Ryan Sandberg auctions, which I've run quite a few Sandberg auctions, it might sell. So I'm trying to be strategic with my auctions. That's kind of like, don't chase numbers on listings. I got to get to this number. And I fell in that trap when I first went full time selling cards. I got to get to 50,000. 50,000 was like my goal in listings. Now, this was also before I had a scanner. This was before I had Card Dealer Pro. If I had those tools, 50,000, easy. I can get there easy. But then as I got closer to 60,000, as I get closer to 60,000, it's like, now I kind of want to get back down to 50,000. I don't want to max out my listings because I've got some stuff that's been sitting in my store for a few years. Let's move it. So if it doesn't sell, and it's almost like, I don't want to put like a timestamp on what is stale inventory. Because yes, do I sell something that's been in my eBay store for 3 years, 4 years? I do. But it's like 1 out of 1,000. And I don't want that type of, I want a higher sell-through rate than that. So now with these last couple 50% sales, I've gone backwards, which is good. I get rid of some stale inventory. I get rid of not stale, and I get rid of inventory. And it frees up listings. So where am I at on listings? And then I'm going to do a purge eventually. But as I run these sales and stuff flies out, I don't have to worry about purging because I'll just list more and be strategic about listing buy it now and not having just some junk. So I'm at listings 58,287. That's actually more than I expected. I thought I was down to like 56,000. So I may have to purge this. I've been saying that for like 3 months. Well, I'm getting close. I may have to purge this month. So that's kind of the strategy I'm taking is kind of going, not striving to hit that max, because we run into bad habits. I do, at least. Maybe others don't, but I do. And when I was striving to hit 50,000 listings early on, I was listing stacks, since I have hundreds of 80s football comments. And I think one reason they're not selling, and it's kind of like a anecdotal experiment. I had like 83 Topps football with photos of each card. And I think I've sold through like almost all of them. Like say there was 50 of them. I may have 5 or 10 left. And they went pretty fast. I don't even know if I have that many left out of a SKU, and I probably had more than 50. But I've got 83 Topps with just a generic pile of cards of 83 Topps, and they're not selling. And so it's one of those things where it's like, well, maybe I should just take that entire SKU out and relist. But that type of inventory is not really what I'm aiming to get into my eBay store right now. There could come a time where that is the case, but right now it's not. So I think at this point, as I approach 60,000, it's one of those where it's like, I want to scale back and go the other way and pay more attention to my eBay store as it is. And what I mean by that is get rid of stale listings. And do I need 37 Aristides Aquino rookies in my eBay store? Probably not. Do they sell? Eventually. But again, that's sell-through rate. We're looking for higher sell-through rate. I want to move inventory. I don't want to list inventory and let it sit idle in my store. I want to push it out. And that's what auctions are really helping me do. I've got to be careful. I don't want to go through a $5 box, pay $4 or $5 for a card, put it at auction, and it sells for $3. That's happened. So we'll avoid that in the future going forward. But if I go through a 50-cent box and, get it for 40 cents a card, say, and I know that at 99 cent plus 99 cent shipping, if it sells, I'll make some money. I bought, I started going through, I took a break from shipping yesterday afternoon, and I was going through the dime boxes that I bought from Jeff at the show on Saturday. And I bought 7 4-row boxes of baseball. And I paid about 3 cents, less than 3 cents a card, about 2.5 cents a card. And there's actually some really good stuff. I built a really nice pile. Like, this is good eBay inventory. I was even pulling out Acuña's in Judge that I've got a buyer for those. And I'm like, well, shit, this is an even better deal than I expected. I thought a lot of it was just going to be quarter box fodder. A lot of it will be, but I'm going to be putting some stuff in my eBay store. I'm even going to be running some of them at auction. So that's good inventory to have. So try to find more deals like that where it's, I can move it, I can move it. It's not just, junk, but I've got to be careful because sometimes you buy that and it's like, oh, a lot of this is going to sit. So just got to be careful. So that's what's going on. Let's go to the chat. Where we at? Cooter's here and he's on the interstate I-35 southbound heading to Dallas. What's going on, Cooter? By the way, hey, the Cubs made a move. I pulled my phone out, and the Cubs pulled a move out. Signed Matthew Boyd, a starting pitcher. The Cubs need starting pitching. I don't know if they need Matthew Boyd though. $15 million a year for Matthew Boyd, and I just joked in our Cubs chat because it's not a popular signing in our Cubs chat. So hopefully that means we cheered the Trey Mancini signing, and that blew up in our face. So maybe if we boo the Matthew Boyd signing, it'll, the reverse happens and he's a stud. But I joked that these are the types of signings that put the Cubs in the top 6, 7, 8 of all MLB in spending, while at the same time missing the playoffs. Like, do you need to spend money? They are spending money. They're just spending it foolishly. It's like, this is the type of move. This is the type of spending that I made when I got my first credit card at 19 years old. I got a credit card. I can just buy whatever I want. Well, that was a dumb purchase. Now, hopefully this blows up in my face. Matthew Boyd has a great season as a start. Well, I mean, we'll root for him, obviously, but it's like, ooh, I don't know if this was a good signing. Where are the Tigers fans at? What are your thoughts on Matthew Boyd? I think that's where he was most recently. Let's look up old baseballreference.com because I know he doesn't have a great track record. He's been in the league 10 seasons. I didn't realize he started with Toronto or Detroit. A lot of time in Detroit. So he was with Cleveland this past season, but he only appeared in 8 games. He made 8 starts. He had a 2.72 ERA. That's good. He had a 3.29 FIP. So that's not good. Like, you look at these FIP numbers, and that's what the Cubs kind of base their number on FIP, which is field independent pitching, right? I know it's field independent, and I think pitching, field independent pitching, which is supposed to be a more accurate number than ERA. So let's look at his 10-year career. He's got a 4.58 FIP and a 4.85 ERA. So basically, that's what you're going to get out of him. You're going to get almost 5 runs a game. So yeah, he led the league in losses in the COVID season. Led the league in earned runs and home runs in that same year. He back-to-back seasons, he led the league in giving up home runs, 2019 and 2020. So this is what $15 million a year gets you. So we're not too excited about this free agent signing of Matthew Boyd in the north side of Chicago. Good morning, Peter. What's happening? Happy Monday. Philly Joe's in the house. Good morning. Mikey is here. What's happening? Mr. Archer's in the house. What's going on? Christian, good morning. There's our Tigers fan. He's live for the first time in a while. The Bears are now the old Lions. I know. We've talked enough about the Bears the last couple days. We don't need to pour more salt in that wound. David, good morning. Visited NYC on Friday, made a visit to the MLB flagship store. What'd you think of it? I've never been to the MLB flagship store. I've never been to New York City. What'd you think of it? Cooter says, you need to blend your makeup better, rosy cheeks. I do. And you know what this is? This has got to be like sodium, like my sodium intake. Look at my red cheeks. I noticed that this morning. I think because Thanksgiving, there's a lot of salt in our meal. I've been eating stuffing for the last 4 days. I wonder if this is like my body's reaction to high sodium levels. Because obviously when I was in my heavier days just a few months ago, I was getting a lot of rosy red cheeks. It's also cold outside. Although I didn't spend too much time outdoors with Ernie. He did his poop and his pee. By the way, he slept through the night last night, which was, oh, thank God. He was a menace yesterday and Saturday. We cannot get him to doggy daycare soon enough today because he was a little rascal all weekend. I was not here Saturday, but my wife said he was a terror. We called the neighbor, hey, can Ernie and Rookie play? So they played a little bit yesterday, but Ernie was still a terror. But he did sleep through the night, which is more important. Like, at least we can handle it through the day. We know he's going to doggy daycare. He'll burn up some energy today. Brian is here. What's up? Bo has a youthful look today. I did. I got a haircut last week. I shaved yesterday. I think I've seen him like this before in Jerry Maguire. I don't know what that means. BPC back from Vegas. Dave Arnold had a good time. He made it back in one piece, hopefully. Mark, good morning. Jets invented yet another way to lose. Have you watched the Bears? Mark, have you watched the Bears this year? If you think the Jets are bad, watch a Bears game and see how they can invent ways to lose. I felt for you on Thursday. I was screaming timeout at the TV. God dang. And I was rooting for the Jets because now we're rooting for draft pick status. And so I've been scoreboard watching. The Jets were a team that I was watching. The Panthers, the Titans standings. So NFL standings. So right now, the Giants, Raiders, and Jaguars have the worst records in the NFL with 2 wins each. The Patriots are 3-10. Panthers, Titans, Mark's Jets are 3-9. The Browns are 3-8. The Bengals, Saints, and Bears are all 4-8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the Bears are either the 9th, 10th, or 11th overall pick if the season ended today. But a lot could still happen. The Cowboys, the 49ers are 5-7. What the hell happened in San Francisco? I thought they were really good. 49ers, 5-7. That's who the Bears have this week. The 49ers will look like a 11-1 team this weekend when they play the Bears. Running Buck Woodcraft, good morning. Brian says, Mark, sorry about your Jets. It's a tough year. Yeah, Jets and Bears, not a good year for the Jets and Bears or the other teams we named off. Brian, been a fan of this team for almost 50 years. It's comedy. Christian says, man, I wanted Boyd for the Tigers. You wanted him back? Why did you want him back? I'd give him back to you. You can have him. Johnny M., good morning. My heart is in AFib again. That is not good. We don't like AFib. They're going to have to stop it and restart it again. Went through it a year and a half ago. Golden years, my ass. Oof, not good. I had a good friend who went through AFib at a young age. He was in his early to mid-20s when he went through it. We were on the road, and I think heavy consumption of caffeine is what triggered his AFib. We were in Evansville. It was a tournament. It was I think it was Coaches versus Cancer Classic in Evansville, and we were at a Hilton Garden Inn in Evansville, and they had such delicious coffee. It was like flavored coffee, and they had like a coffee station in the lobby. Every time we drank coffee, because we worked like around the clock when we worked in college athletics. And so every time we would go through the lobby, we'd get coffee. I mean, we would literally drink coffee at 2 a.m. because we'd be up in the hotel lobby working at 2, 3 a.m. And so we would drink coffee all through the night, all through the day, get 3-4 hours of sleep. And if we weren't up working at 3 a.m. drinking coffee, we were at the bar in Brookings, South Dakota, or wherever we were at. But yeah, he ended up going through AFib after that, and I don't think I have the photo anymore, but I had a picture of like our hotel room with just massive amounts of these cups of coffee. It's like we drank like 74 cups of coffee in 4 days. It was crazy. So best of luck going through the AFib. It's scary. Super scary. Anything with your heart, super scary. Orlando, what's going on? Good morning. Mark says Mets gave $17 million a year to Frankie Montas. Yes, that Frankie Montas. Okay. So the Mets have, and I know the Mets have even more foolish spending because they're at the top. They're like the number one big spenders. You would think it'd be the Dodgers, but no, it's the Mets. Tracy's in the house. Good morning. Back from the trip. It was a blast. Welcome back on the cruise. When does the 50% sale end? Today. Yeah, tonight, 7 p.m. Central. So 99centcards.com. You still have 12 hours or less, 10, 11 hours left to spend. Brian's here, Offbeat All-Star, says, good morning. New job starts today. Enjoy. Less time for Hobby Evolution in the morning, but I will enjoy getting paid again. That's the important thing. So I guess it's a wash. Getting paid is good. Getting paid is good. Johnny M says, my 2-day sale got 97 orders, usually sell 20 a day. So there you go. Learned I don't want to have more than 30 sales a day. Will never consider going full-time. It is not for I wouldn't say faint of heart, but it's a fucking grind, as you know now, with 97 orders in 2 days. I'm sitting at I shipped half the day yesterday, and I'm still well over 200, I would imagine. And that's orders, not just cards. And some of these orders, surprisingly, I had a lot of orders that were smaller. 250 orders to ship out. Some are really big. The lot auctions haven't shipped out. I need to get on top of those this morning. So there's some lots that might be over 100 orders or 100 lots in an order. So I'm going to be doing a lot of shipping pretty much all week, getting caught up. Dan, what's happening? Good evening to you. Running Buck Woodcraft. Question from Running Buck Woodcraft. I signed up for a table at an upcoming card show. At the time I signed up and paid, the show was being promoted as, oh boy, I know where this is going, was being promoted as 300 plus tables. Now the promoter says 150 tables. I despise that. I absolutely hate when promoters, we've got 300 tables, and you get there and there's maybe 100 tables. If you're promoting a card show, do not do that. Promote what you and I know why they do it, because there could be room up to 300 tables, or they think they could fill 300 tables and they don't. Don't fucking do that. Just be realistic. And for card show promoters out there, when we started the Madison Card Show, I think we promoted 25 tables. The first couple months, we had 17 the first month and 23 the second month. And then, it wasn't like, it's not like we were promoting, 25 tables and 17 tables. Yeah. Was it the exact count? It was not, but it's not promoting something as 200 tables, 300 tables, and there's 50 or 75 or 100. I hate that. So I don't know what your question is. Oh, here it is. Here's the question. I'm like, wait, where's the question? Would you all be okay with this? No, absolutely not. I am not okay with that. But ultimately, the decision is up to you. What are you comfortable? Here's the answer. Are you okay? And this, none of us can answer this. This has got to be on you. Are you okay spending the money on this as these tables? Would you have been okay spending that same amount of money on a 150 table show? Say it's $100 a table. Would you have been okay spending $100 a table for a $150 table card show? And if the answer is yeah, I would have been okay with that. Or it's like, if you're on the fence, I think he still yields yes. But if you would be like, no, like I'm not spending $100 a table unless it's 200 or more. And then I just say, I want my money back or I'm not going to do the show. So ultimately that's up to you. I don't know the specifications on it. You know, if it's $50, $75 a table, I'm certainly okay with it. Like it rubs me the wrong way. I don't want a promoter to do that, but it's not going to stop me from setting up at the show. It may stop me from setting up at future shows with that same promoter. I lose trust in him. But if I'm already committed, I'm just going to go through with it and we'll see, you know, if he owns up to it, he's like, yeah, I made a mistake. I won't do it again, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'll give him a second chance. But at the end of the day, I need to know, like, what's the table cost? What were your expectations going into it? But I hate it when am I okay with it? No, I'm not okay with lying of a promoter lying about, you know, especially when it's that egregious. Would I still go through? I guess that's a separate question you didn't ask, but if that were to be asked, it just kind of depends. Just kind of depends. Brian tells the other Brian, have a good day, back at the grind. Mikey says, I'm currently trying to find a 99-cent card to buy from your store. There you go. You can get it for 50 cents. Dan says, with his hair like that, he looks like Biff. I don't take that as a compliment. I don't want to look like Biff. I look like a 1950s asshole. David says, MLB store, NYC prices, so there isn't any great deals. Yeah. But it was nice to see a large store with only baseball and a great selection. I bought an Orioles hoodie. Very nice. Michael Renicke's in the house. Good morning. Brian says, injuries. McCaffrey out again. 4TP. Do you know the human head weighs 8 pounds? There you go. Jerry Maguire reference. 49ers have had a lot of injuries. There you go. And that's what Brian confirms. Niners, a lot of injuries. Oh yeah, isn't Purdy out? Was Purdy was out? Was it last night or was he? I can't remember. I don't really follow you, as you well know. I follow the Bears, and that's about it. And the NFC North just by proxy. Christian says you were all not watching the MLB playoffs. He has been reinvented. He trains with Scooble in the offseason. No, the answer to you are correct. I was not watching the MLB playoffs. That is completely accurate. Small sample size last year with Cleveland, 2.72 ERA. I don't like that 3.29 FIP, but it's still better than his career average. Where's the 46 strikeouts, 13 walks? That's great. Only gave up 4 home runs. But he only, how many innings did he pitch? But that's in 39 innings. What was his postseason? Where's the postseason stats? Postseason pitching 2024. Let's see. Where's the 2024? I just want to see. Okay, so in the ALDS, he started 2 games, pitched 6 2/3 innings. No runs, 10 strikeouts, 3 walks. That's pretty good. In LCS against the Yankees, started 1 game, 5 innings, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. So, yeah, he did okay. Well, hopefully he's good. Max says Niners injuries, but can't be surprised with Mr. Glass at running back. Kittle, Purdy, Debo, CMC have all spent time not playing. Brian Wolf is here. Good morning. Long time. Stupid work. My 49ers are surprisingly shitty. Bengals are a sad story. Burrow and Chase. Yeah, and the Bengals. Burrow and Chase scoring machines and lose every game. Winning my fantasy leagues because of them. Brian says, I hope they know they are winners in non-reality. Max says, RBW, is it a first-time show? If so, you should know that prelim number is the max tables the show can hold, not necessarily the amount of dealers signed up. Back out if you want. He can't make you. I agree with that, but I hate when first-time shows, especially when it's that size. If it's a 50, 100 table show, I understand up to 50 tables, up to 100 tables. But if you're like going to promote it up to 300 tables, like I'm not okay with that. I am not okay with that. He can't make you set up advertising something and producing another sucks, but it happens with any new show that tries to do big numbers at their first show. And that's why I don't like it. Like, just don't be realistic. Be realistic. Or at least say we have space, we have availability for 300 tables, but don't promote it as a 300 table show. Unicorn Cupcake was in the house in Madison on Saturday. Got to see Kevin. He says, if you are sending out a $1,200 card with the post office, do you get insurance? Is it worth it? So I have not. But I've only sent out a $1,200 card through the USPS a couple times. So, but when I have done it, I have not got the insurance. Brian says, always get insurance. Use Pirate Chip to save money. Max says, Unicorn, print your label at home and save a ton. Number one. Number two, yes, but you need to set a threshold for yourself. Mine is $500 plus for insurance, but I rarely sell that level through the mail. Yeah, I sold an Ellie De La Cruz for, what did that go for? Around $1,500, I think, $1,200. I did not insure it, but I set it obviously in a box and double boxed it and all that. I sold a case of 2018 Topps Update for like $1,800 before it hit 5,000. I didn't insure that. What else did I send that was over that amount? Those might be the only two things I've sold over $1,000. Obviously, that's not my wheelhouse. Mikey says, I just bought 2 Bowman draft cards for 99 cents total. Vargas and Montero. Thank you, Mikey. Max says, because my better stuff goes to shows and have it listed on eBay for probably the better part of 6 months. Unicorn Cupcake will insure them. Johnny M says, I send cards like that overnight delivery with signature confirmation. Good deal. Good. That's smart. It's not crazy expensive to insure. I should ask before, do you have collection insurance? Some of those cover packages as well. Offbeat All-Star says, thanks, Brian. Excited to be back. Card gets lost and you get $500, not full $1,200 because of $7. MD lives dangerously. Running Buck Woodcraft says $150 a table for 3 days. I think it's too big of a difference between 300 plus and 150. Appreciate your thoughts. You are welcome. And hopefully, I don't know when is the show? Like if it's this weekend, then it's like, I don't want to tell you to back out because I'm a show promoter. And when dealers back out, but the promoter made his own bed with this. If the show's in another month, there's still time for them to get closer to 300 tables. But if it's this coming weekend, there you go. But I don't like that. I understand why it's done, but I do think and it depends on wording. They could have stated up to, I don't know any of the details behind it. There could be a lot going on that that I'm not aware of. But I've seen shows being promoted as 300 tables and no like up to 300 tables. I don't like that. Unicorn Cupcake says, last card I sold, I insured for $1,500, but it was like $35 extra. Max says, Brian, I think you misread my comment. I would insure for full value. I would not insure an item if it was under $500 in value. I got it. Yeah. So if the card sold for $400, Max is not going to insure it. But if he sells a card for $700, he would insure it for $700. Brian says, pirate ship is $1 per 100, and you can add in insurance and shipping cost. eBay only insured cost of sale, and it's more expensive. Oh, that's a little tidbit I did not know. So there you go. Mikey says, I did a sale in my eBay store, but not many takers. Unicorn Cupcake sold outside of eBay. Brian says, oh, got you mad. I was like, that would make me so mad if I didn't pay full insurance. It would be $15 through pirate ship for Unicorn Cupcake, and he will look into it. Another Brian has checked in from shopper side. It's frustrating as well for a $300 table plus show, and it ends up much less. Oh, without question. You go, especially if, and again, it depends on, is it a $10 admission, $20 admission, free admission? You're going to travel further for a 300 table show. You may travel. I mean, people travel to the Madison Card Show. It's only 140 tables, but people travel, 3-4 hours away. 300, Chicago, more than 300 tables. I don't know. What is Chicago Sports Spectacular? 500-600 tables? But people will travel a long distance. You show up and there's only 150 tables, you're probably going to be upset. Whether you're on, no matter which side of the table you're on. Max says, if anybody here is not familiar with pirate ship, do yourself a favor and take 10 minutes today and familiarize yourself. You should never be buying postage at the post office. I will 100% agree with that. Pirateship.com. If you are selling anything, do not take it to the post office. Do not go to a kiosk at USPS. Do not take it to the counter. Print a label at pirateship.com. That's what I use if it's not on eBay. I use eBay shipping, it's the same discount on eBay as it is on Pirate Ship. But the insurance I did not know about. You get better insurance on Pirate Ship. So definitely use pirateship.com for any shipping labels. It's much cheaper than going to the post office, and you just print out a label. Brian says, I did a show and it was sold as 400 tables, maybe 200 tables actually set up, and I made the most I ever made at a show. There you go. So sometimes it works out for the best. Should I insure a 5K card to Canada? I just did. There you go. Unicorn Cupcake says, had my first cancellation request. Lady bought my C3PO corrected goldenrod card. She thought it was the error card. I canceled it for her, but yeah, I know. It's like, come on. You can see the picture. There's no dong. Troy, what's going on? Good morning. Dan says, Mark, yes, the Postal Service in Canada is shut down from a strike. I shipped a Menko, and it's taking longer than normal to get there. Troy, I think, is in Canada, and I just shipped some stuff to Troy. Hopefully it gets to him or got to him, because I think the post, are you getting mail? Max says, and if you are shipping more than 50 packages a week, don't be cheap. Save yourself time and buy a label printer. Too many out there still aren't using them. Oh, without question. Thermal label printer for the win. For my business, I think a thermal label printer is the number one thing. Like, before you want to scale up, if you want to sell volume, sports cards in volume on eBay or wherever, the first thing you should do, don't just go straight for a scanner. Don't go for a subscription to Card Dealer Pro. Get a thermal label printer first. That's the first thing you should do. There's probably some other things you should do, but that's going to trump your scanner and your Card Dealer Pro. And also, before buying a scanner, investing, I would start kind of like what I did. I bought a new scanner, but I got the 7030. I don't think the 8170 had come out. The 8170 came out a few months after I got the 7030. but there was also a 7160 that was it's a little twice as fast as the 7030. But I would, if you want to dab before you dive in and buy a $800 8170 Ricoh scanner, get a 7030, and shit, you can buy them used on Amazon or eBay for $250. Just be careful who you're buying from on the refurbished models, and go that way. But buy a thermal label printer first. That should be the first tool, and then dabble in a used scanner before you go all in. Before you start, playing around, you can get, play around with Car Dealer Pro just to get accustomed to it. Do a 7-day free trial, but just play around with it. Dad Dude from Duryea, what's up? Hope everyone had a good weekend. Good weekend here. Troy says no mail, but international shipments come through DHS. I just got a shipment Friday through eBay International. Oh, very good. Very good. Through DHL. DHL. Running Buck Woodcraft says show is next weekend, so no up to on the show promo. Clearly states 300 plus. Anyway, thanks for letting me vent. Yeah, that's annoying. But hey, maybe things turn out like Brian, where he had the best show he's ever had. So hopefully that's the case. I'd be careful. Where, I can't remember where you're from. Can you just tell me the state you're in? I may know depending on which state I might know who the promoter is. So I'm curious which state you're in. You don't have to tell me the show. If you want, you can tell us the show, where you're going to be. And that way, maybe if somebody's close to you, they'll, hey, I'm going to go see Running Buck Woodcraft at whatever show it's at. Max says wireless Rollo printer would be my rec now. I have a Dymo and it's great, but I work exclusively from an iPad until I need to print labels. Would love the wireless capability and will likely switch. Yeah. And so a friend of the family just got one, and he was quizzing me about thermal label printers, and because he's been selling he's been doing a lot of reselling, and not in cards, but just other stuff. And so I told him, I said, I use a Brother and I use the QL 1100, but it's not wireless. So if you want and he wanted something wireless. So I suggested the Rollo. I'm going to keep saying Rollo. And so he did. He got the Rollo printer and loves it. So yeah, I've never used one, so I can't recommend it. I use the Brother QL 1100. I've been using it for several years now. I love it. But you have to plug it in. It's not wireless. But if you do want a wireless, go with the Rollo. Max says, but have a couple thousand labels to use up yet. Mikey got my 8170 and iMac free from the government of Indiana thanks to my disability. That's pretty cool. Running Buck Woodcraft says the show is in Kentucky. Okay, so I'm not familiar. Lexington, Kentucky, next weekend. Oh, so there's still 2. So it's basically 2 weeks away. Okay, so it's not this coming weekend. So hopefully they fill some more tables. Johnny M uses a Nelco wireless, $80 on Amazon, works great. So there's another option for you. All right. Let's see. Do that. All right. So I've got to get going. Ernie's got to eat breakfast, and we're going to get him to doggy daycare. So again, my eBay sale is going on through tonight. So I think 7 p.m. Central tonight is the deadline, or is the expiration date for the Black Friday coupon. It's Black Fry Weekend, Black FRI Weekend, all one word. That's the coupon code, 99centcards.com. There's no minimums. There's no quantity minimum. There's no dollar amount minimum. So just check it out, 99centcards.com. The sale runs through tonight, 7 p.m. Central. I've got auctions. I've got new vintage football that went live last night. Over 100 vintage football went live in my eBay store last night at auction. We've got auctions starting tonight. Vintage baseball starting tonight. A lot of 60s going to go live tonight. And tomorrow night is our Tuesday night auctions. We've got auctions ending and new auctions starting. Of course, we'll stream live right here on YouTube, 7 p.m. Central. Let's get to the last couple chats. Cooter says, thermal printer, great for card boxes also. I have a template I cut 4x6 in half for both ends of a box. That's a hint for you too. I love Sharpies. Box 13. There you go. Still in action, by the way. Max, what's up? Good morning. A friend of mine is wondering if you got hockey cards at the Madison Card Show. Not many. There are not too many hockey cards at the Madison Card Show. So if you're coming in to look at hockey, you're probably going to be disappointed at the Madison Card Show because there's not too many really no hockey dealers. Some dealers have hockey. I know East Coast Tom, our friend East Coast Tom, he's got some hockey like bargain boxes, and he even has sealed wax. Like my buddy Mark bought a wax box from him of hockey, early 90s O-Pee-Chee, I think. But outside of that, maybe some bargain boxes there. You may find some slabs, some hockey slabs in random showcases, but not too much hockey. We've got Real Breaks comes down and sets up, and they bring some wax. They bring new sealed wax, so he brings some hockey whenever it's released. If it's a new release, he brings it out. But outside of that, not much hockey at the Madison Card Show. Tracy, have a great one. Just bought 19 cards. I thank you. If anybody wants to, take advantage. 50% off, no minimums. 99centcards.com. Orlando, thank you, sir. You as well. Thank you, Unicorn Cupcake, and good seeing you this weekend. Next Madison Card Show is Saturday, December 28th. Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive, 140 tables. Come out and see us at the Sheraton Hotel, John Nolan Drive for the December 28th Madison Card Show. Brian says, cheers. Happy Cyber Monday. Go get some deals. You can get some at 99centcards.com. Let's end the show with a Cleveland Steamer, says Dan. Brian says, eBay says on shipping page, all Canada shipments suspended. Won't make a label. Oh, well, that's interesting. Dan says, you ruined it, Brian. All right. So on that note, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and take advantage of my sale at 99centcards.com. Get to work Monday. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.